Now we're on the air. That was me popping.
What was that? What?
I popped.
That's the little pop sound. That
I
means
go
we're on
3,
the
2,
air.
1, pop,
Duh.
so that people don't hear me say 1. I don't know.
Oh,
Eh.
gotcha.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome Ace Bill, the attack cat, who is first. He's like talking to himself. He's like, I don't know what to do here. It's just being by myself. He's conflicted about saying first. It's okay, Ace Bill. Just let it out. GRH, what up, dude? Stay warm 420, the game cat. Breast milk, you make my day. Dave Chappelle was so freaking funny, man. Chief the VR gamer, hello. Corix here. Hello, Corix. Chairface, hello,
meow, meow.
Chairface. We need Chairface the game cat. Noah Raylia, is PSVR2 really happening? It is happening. Oh my
Right?
At
god.
some point. But all the things you've read are just rumors, probably.
Sup, y'all? Fernando. Gyson, fist bump to you. Johnny Ripe off the stray cat. Weak Rogers the game cat. Hello. Huge Chrome Peach. I don't want to take a bite out of you. Nick
right.
Mulo. Yeah, fancy seeing you here. I was not expecting that, Nick. Doug Fu,
Oh.
Ninja Cat, Hoo-Ha-Hee, and Kramer says hello world. And so does Drummer 151. Is that like Bacardi 151?
I don't know.
Skynet 97 Skynet, the T800 game cat. Meow 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 meow. Mark Pringles leaves. Sip.
Should we do this?
Alex Bido.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have a
it's
show
not
to
too late
do.
to
Yeah,
bed.
okay.
Yes, but you got so much energy just greeting people. I feel like we could just do 2 hours of you greeting people.
I could. I love these freaking people. I like them more.
It's not too late to back out.
What?
Oh, hey, look. Look.
I'm just kidding.
Fantastic.
I love all of
there's
you.
no
equally.
chat. We are live and there's no chat. I knew there was something missing.
Awesome.
Hey, Dave, why don't you tell people to subscribe to all of our channels and join our Discord?
Oh, let me do the shtick. All right, guys, a little bit of housekeeping, as they say. There is a link to our Discord down in the description below. It's a cool place where people are talking all the time. As Brian routinely says, he might be there at 5 in the morning. If you're up at 5 in the morning,
Game Cat adjacent.
talk about whatever you want to
Oh,
talk
wait,
about.
that's not.
Damn it. You threw me off. All right. And then also there's, what is there, a Twitter account? You never talk about the Twitter.
There we go. I got the chat working again.
They're on the internet.
You've been
All you gotta do is
a little bit more
I've
active
been
on Twitter.
chatting up a storm on Twitter.
Oh, but
Yeah.
the big thing is patreon.com/
Games.
without parole
games.
All right. And that's a good place to go to give this dude some money. Brian Paul, you know who he is. He's the
Dave,
guy with the hat on.
Dave, what's your
Or I guess
Patreon?
AJ's got a hat on too. It's the Dave Station VR. Same thing without parole. No. Patreon.com/ Dave Station VR. But don't give
But
me
you know
any
who you
money. I
should
barely
give money
do
to?
anything.
You should give money to this guy here in the middle. AJ, what's your Patreon channel?
I do have a Patreon now. It
Wait,
is
when did you get a Patreon? I'm about to go sub.
Patreon.com/PSVR Underground, bringing developers and gamers together under one unified roof.
Just
I
to pay
posted.
you $5 a month?
I
Or-
just gave you. It's just $1 if you want, or whatever you want. And
what cool rewards do I get?
well, I'll give you updates and some funny videos I'll be posting. I just did my first post today, actually, where I posted a whole magazine feature for a room VR.
I feel like there's some copyright infringement going on there. Feel like, hey, for your $1 or more every month, here's a magazine that I just bought.
It's very possible, but it's on the
say,
underground. So
you pay for him to take the heat for that. So we're paying for AJ.
It's like when I
to
pay
get
some dude to
busted
do
if
my
that
taxes
happens.
for me. It's
So-
like he's the one in trouble, right? Please tell me he's the one in trouble.
Audit this motherfucker. What are you doing?
I make
with
about
me?
$8,000
We'll
a
see
year.
what
I don't think
happens.
there's
I don't
any
know.
way the IRS is on to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Dave said this in his intro, but make sure you click that Discord link in the description. I mean, seriously, we talk about video games 24/7. AJ calls me like at 2:00 in the morning. He's like, dude, you want to talk about PSVR? I'm like, yes, I do. So like 3 hours later.
I really like
We
talking
talk about
PSVR.
PlayStation VR all the time. And then we do it on the show, and then we do it on Viewer Takeover, and then we do it on the Discord server, which means that conversation never ends. So join us over there on the Discord and be part of that humongous chat room where we all talk about video games all the time, along with that baby shark dance. I can't get enough of that.
Real quick, Houston MC asked, do y'all think Blades and Sorcery will come to PSVR? Maybe. The developers
probably so.
actually posted today, I think it was, saying that, look, they're still in early access on the PC side, and they still have a lot of development to do. So they don't bring early access games to us on PSVR. So the game's going to have to get finished first if there's any chance. So once they finish it, maybe there's a good chance we'll see it, because it's
I would stake my
really
life
requested
on it coming to PSVR. Yeah. I mean, these guys, it's super popular on PC. Like you said, it's still in early access, but still very popular. And there's no reason they wouldn't want to bring it over to PSVR, especially considering it doesn't look like the most like graphically intensive game that there is out there. This looks like a fairly easy port. So there's no reason for them not to bring it over and make a few extra, 20s. I was going to say millions of dollars. Dave, your mic is off.
They're saying I'm out of sync. Like
they said that about me too. Actually, I'm pissed. I was on mute because I said shekels when you were waiting for something to say.
How out of sync could you possibly be? This is the exact same setup as always.
Well,
Noah Gorn is also on the way.
2, 3,
2.
Yeah,
1.
They said we're both out of sync,
3.
and it's hurting their brain.
How's that possible?
Yeah,
I don't even understand how that's possible. I don't. There's nothing to fix. You guys are coming through just fine. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. I'll talk behind the thing. Maybe should I leave and come back
Give
real
it a
quick
shot,
too?
man.
That's what. Yeah, I figured if I did that, it might help.
Should I also leave and come back? No.
Yeah, get out of here. We don't.
Perfect.
All right, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, Brian. Thank you everybody for joining in the chat. So good to see you. I miss you guys, man. I hate that this is only once a week. I wish it was.
Well, I've been saying for quite a long time now that if I hit my Patreon goal of, I mean, at this point it's going to be like billions of dollars. Like we want to do a morning show, and I mean that would require us getting up in the morning and like doing stuff and like paying and get it.
Yeah, or I feel like you'd already still be awake. And you could go to sleep.
Well, we didn't
after
say
the morning
whose
show.
morning it would be.
Probably.
Right. We could definitely do it at like 2 p.m. and it would be morning somewhere. So,
Brian, you got Mr. Sonic's attention.
Hey,
He's
what's
here.
up,
Sonic the Game Cat says, "All right, what's this about Silent Hill? We know he's a
You're
big one."
just gonna have to wait and
Craig,
see, buddy.
Craig Ryder says, "None of my friends have a PSVR except for 2, and they hate it. So I had to ditch all those motherfuckers and just stay in my house. VR 24/7 is great." That's right, Craig Ryder.
join the Discord server.
Show them.
That's where all of your real new friends are going to be found. Like, screw those old friends. Those friends are useless.
Yes.
They don't have a PSVR. They don't like it. Fuck them. Join our Discord. Make new friends. Problem solved.
Yes. Join our Discord.
Any more housekeeping to be done? Because people are saying, I just joined it. I don't know what's going on. And people are explaining that we just
8 goddamn minutes
for a little while.
Oh, and guess what? It's 6:08. Perfect.
It's been exactly. Okay. Perfect.
All right.
What's the show about, guys? A bunch of stinking rumors.
We have some rumors to go through. We've also got some actual non-rumor stuff. Brian was just bored and wanted to have some fun because it's boring right now, because Sony is being completely silent for the first time in God knows how long. They are just sitting on their hands and they're like, "No, you will be excited when we tell you to be excited." And it's killing us, man. We're getting a little stir crazy out here. So we wanted to address some of these rumors that, granted, do have some stuff behind it. And if it turns out to not be true, it's not our credibility that'll be gone. It'll be others.
And this isn't about saying, hey, these rumors are true. This is about discussing some rumors and seeing, if we think between the three of us there's any validity in it. And then on top of that, we can always, like check in with the chat and see what you guys think and see if you have any, more information to add. This is a nice relaxed episode. We're not going to throw a ton of facts at you. This is all going to be about speculation, opinions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But first, before we get to the rumors, we did get some numbers officially released for the Q4 2019 numbers. Sales figures. So before we get started on the rumors, we want to talk about these real quick. Coming in at first place is, in fact, our beloved PSVR at 338,000. Next is Oculus Quest at 317, which is like right behind it. Valve Index at 103, which actually sold out. So they maybe could have sold more if they were in stock. Oculus
Same
Go,
with Quest too. Quest has been sold out a bunch of places.
right? Oculus Go at 84K, and then Oculus Rift is at the bottom of the totem pole with 71K. So, what do you guys think of these sales numbers? I think that I'm actually kind of surprised that PSVR was still in the lead, even granted not by much, because they've been so quiet. They've been waiting for this PS5 reveal to really give us anything. They're not talking about flat games. They're not talking about anything.
But at the
right
same
now.
time,
Which is crazy to
think
me.
about all the people who don't own PlayStation VR, right? So you would think that people in my family would be all over PSVR. They're all gamers. You think that they'd be like, oh, this is what Brian does. This is what Brian does. He does it without parole. It's all PSVR related. You would think that they'd be on top of it. But my brother, right, sent me a picture like literally a week ago of him and his kids playing PSVR. Like their friend brought over PSVR, Astrobot, Beat Saber, and my brother was like, holy crap, this thing's amazing. And I'm like, where have you been for the last 3 years? Like, what have you been? So people are still like just now finding out about it, right? I mean, think about how many people
I know
should have a PSVR headset. There's 100 million PS4s out there. You would think the adoption rate would be way higher, especially for how good it is. But now that the price is lower, and now that there's like so many games out there, we might hopefully Firewall is setting a precedent that like we're getting PSVR games on PS Plus again. But like people were at one point accruing PS Plus PSVR games, and at a certain point you go, I've got like 6 of these things. I should look into getting a headset. So like all this stuff, it might be slow for us right now when we're like entrenched in the ecosystem, but for so many other people, it's not slow. Think of the hundreds of games that they still get to try for the first time. That was my rant.
Yeah,
Sorry.
for sure. I mean, it would be a very exciting
I'm back
time
on
to
coffee. I
just
apologize.
bought
I'm
one.
like,
it is. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit tough for new PSVR owners though, because they're not aware of all the amazing games that have happened in the past. They're going to be mostly following and keeping up with what's upcoming, the biggest upcoming games, because that's just how it works. Like it's going to be hard.
I don't know. No, I don't know about that. If I had just bought a PS4, I wouldn't be like, when Spider-Man 2 coming out, I would play Spider-Man 1 or something. You know, like there is a huge catalog that I think when you get a system, you want to go back and see what the good stuff is.
For sure. But I mean, luckily, Brian's got reviews for just about every game.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they find us.
But there's a lot of games that I can guarantee you are not getting mixed. I myself have been going back and playing some of my backlog right now, and I'm just like, holy crap, how have I not played this before? And yeah, I mean, I can use this to segue a little bit, but I went back and played Resident Evil 7, the End of Zoe DLC, which is pretty badass. Actually, it's more like a beat 'em up, like a first person brawler beat 'em up. You've got like punching that you start out with at first, and then you get this glove that you can like charge up and punch. And it's pretty fun, man. And speaking of Resident Evil, Brian, the first rumor we're going to discuss is a big one because it comes via Aesthetic Gamer, somebody who's leaked some rumors way back when that actually turned out to be true. And he was talking about how him and this Biohazard website have gotten together, and they were talking about how Resident Evil 8 was actually in production since 2016, and then it was scrapped. But now there's some rumblings about either some of those features being brought into the new Resident Evil 8, or if they're just remnants of the canceled one that was scrapped. So couple different bullet points to go through.
I think
yeah,
before
Brian,
we
what
get
do
into
you
this
think
discussion,
about that?
Dave needs to hit that tree guy.
Ooh, it's about time.
That one is for Joshua Brandt with the $5 donation. Says, you guys are the GOAT. Is that the greatest of all time? Yeah,
You're the
that's
GOAT.
right.
All time.
Josh is
That's
the GOAT.
correct.
Good turning that around. Should the next version of VR have a fan attached to it to mitigate motion sickness and simulate wind in games?
I think it's a great idea that failed as a Kickstarter, unfortunately. But there were these people who were making a thing called Zephyr VR. And I actually met one of the girls who was working on it. It seemed like a really cool idea, like tying in the wind, say you're on a roller coaster, as you go down, it blows stronger and stuff. And that would add a lot to immersion, like more than smell-o-vision.
That thing is like fucking scary. I
can't imagine having it attached, though. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe
would
as an add-on, a peripheral or
Something
something
to
at
keep
some point in the future when more
I
people
think
have
more
VR
likely to
headsets.
have
But
the just like constant fans rather than having them be attached to, oh, you're going down a hill and like, speed up the fans. I would say maybe not the next PSVR headset, but I could see that being a feature just to keep people from being motion sickness and just to keep the air flowing, because man, it does get pretty hot in there, especially if you're doing something physically strenuous.
yeah, well, it'd have to be like a really kind of low key, like you can't hear it, you can just barely feel it. It just feels
Yeah.
nice in the headset, sort of thing. I could see that. Like one of those features that you wouldn't even notice it's there if you had tried. That's
Right.
the first VR headset you tried.
It'd be nice. I don't think it's a necessity, but I think it'd be kind of a cool feature to have. Just nice cooling. I think the word on the street that I've heard.
There was screaming on the street
Obviously,
earlier
this
over
is
here. I don't know if that's the same word that you heard. No. Okay.
no, no. The word on the street is that things that are obvious. It's going to be a lighter headset. It's going to have better resolution. It's going to basically try and be as unintrusive as possible, is what they're aiming for. And that's just the scoop that I got. But that's a ways away. It was from some French developers that may or may not
That
have some
one.
work on it.
I was going to let you ramble for a minute there, but this is Andrew Bailey. Oh, you
From
started.
Andrew
You-
Bailey with the £5 donation saying, daft question, has the pro patch for No Man's Sky come out yet? I've been keeping an eye out for any news, but nothing so far. Did I miss it? You didn't miss it, Andrew. Andrew.
Nope.
I called
It
him
hasn't
Andrew.
happened yet.
Man. I'm back on coffee, but like my brain's not functioning. Yeah, nothing yet, man. Like it's a real shame too, because I think that's keeping a lot of people from jumping in, and it's I don't want to say it ruins the game for me, but man, it could really use some work. Just a little boost in resolution. Doesn't need to be insane. Just a little boost. Get it up to that blind spot resolution. I'll be happy.
Yeah, it could use a little bit more clarity, a little bit better resolution. Otherwise, it's fantastic. May even be my favorite game if it had that. But just waiting for that. So back to Resident Evil, which huge Chrome Peach entitled Resident Evil Coronavirus. Yeah, scary stuff, man. Be safe.
it's
Stay
not
at home,
as-
play VR.
It's not as dangerous as the flu, but yeah.
True.
If you live in that province of China, it probably sucks, but you're
So-
not going to get it over here, most likely.
These are the bullet points collected from the information gathered, and this, like I said, this is either there's two things that they're speculating about here, which is this is either from the canceled, scrapped version of Resident Evil 8 that started production in 2016, or this is going to be something that will happen for the new one and was maybe even brought back, like different assets. But number one, Ethan will be returning as a playable character. Ethan, of course, is the main protagonist that you play as in Resident Evil 7. Number two,
Before you go ahead,
that's going to be Nihilist Ryan, the game feline. Says, thanks to AJ for the Ultra Wings recommendation. Wasn't sure because of the flat cartoony graphics, but got it. I love it. Nice, man. Glad to hear it.
Good.
That's one of the games I went and jumped into my backlog, and I unlocked the stunt plane finally and had some fun with that. But I really like that game with the Move controllers. It's good with the HOTAS too.
It's real good with the HOTAS.
But
yeah.
it can be a little slow at times. That game can be, but it was just recently on sale, so I hope you got it while it was on sale.
Dude,
But
they
really
dropped
good
the
game.
price of that recently.
And
I don't remember what it was when it came out, but it's like $15 now, not on sale.
Oh, it's
like
$15.
The normal
Oh,
price
really?
of Ultra Wings is crazy cheap.
Yeah, that's actually really good. They did do a pro
and it's
update
currently on
for it
sale
as well.
for $7.49. Yeah,
Oh, it's on sale right
50%
now,
off.
so it is
Absolutely
on sale.
get that right
Okay,
now.
good.
Because like you said, the cartoony
Yeah.
graphics would throw you, but man, once you get going and once you get flying around, you start like shooting balloons while you're flying. I love it, man. It's like you won't even notice how cartoony the graphics are.
Yeah, and in terms of like sims, like simulators, that's a really good flight simulator. Really good. It's like Pilot Wings.
I've never
too,
flown
which I
anything
love.
in real life, so I wouldn't tell you how simmy it is. But
I have. I've flown a Cessna a small
really?
little airplane. Yes.
Did you
I'm a
take
man
lessons,
of mystery.
or they just throw you
I
in there and say, "Don't kill yourself"?
I had some unofficial lessons from a friend. Let's put it that way. It was cool though.
So you probably were not legally supposed to be behind this.
Yeah, legal
Schmiegel.
schmeagle.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope.
Schmeagle.
And Brian, apparently the sync issues are getting bad. Justin said this episode is a fever dream.
Really strange. I'm gonna have to like load up the app on my phone and see what it's looking like, because I can see how bad this is.
Now I
wow.
can hear AJ
What?
twice with the sync still out. Just me, probably.
That is ridiculous.
Is it everybody? Can we hear from everybody in the chat how bad this thing is? Because
yeah, let us know. Let us know if there's some.
I gotta get through this advertisement on my own show. Brilliant. There it is.
If you didn't live off this, I would tell you to get rid of that goddamn advertisement. But
Check 1, check 2. Just another day on the job with technology.
Is it everybody? Can we hear from everybody in the chat how bad this thing is?
It's so weird.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if there's some.
I gotta get through this advertisement on my own show.
What's that music playing behind me?
Brilliant.
Oh, it's that.
it was the ad from earlier
So
when he
funny.
just had
I'm
Yeah, I
so
know.
confused.
advertisement.
Somebody says sync is all fine. So, or people are saying sync. Some people are saying we're definitely out of sync.
3 seconds off, except for
Yeah,
Brian.
that's really strange. I don't know what to tell you guys. I have there's no way to fix this
I don't know.
without, just stopping the show and rebooting everything.
How can it be out of sync for some and normal for others?
If it's
That's so
normal
weird.
for some people, then
That doesn't make any sense, though, because those people think you're fine, but we're off, which I think theoretically that's impossible that some people could be seeing it and some people not seeing it.
Yeah, Robert McCallum says his is okay.
we
That's
got to
so
push
weird.
forward
Okay.
and hopefully anybody who
Anyways.
this is really out of sync for, hopefully the final version on YouTube will be fine. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. One more donation for back. Okay, once again from Joshua Bryant. Thank you so much for the 5 donations. Says AJ, what is going on with the new Resident Evil? You guys sound great. Thank you.
We
man.
were going to talk about that, weren't we?
We are back. We are going back on topic to Resident Evil. So
Let's go.
So this says it will not be called Resident Evil 8, but it will have a clever title. The game will be in first person, like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Brian, what is the significance of a new Resident Evil in first person?
So I just recently started playing Resident Evil 2, and I've been saying for so long, man, I don't want to play Resident Evil 2 because I feel like it should come to VR. This game is a game that should be in VR, blah, 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 blah. And then I started playing Resident Evil 2, and I realized just how wrong I was. Because, man, not only, obviously, is it in third person, as we all know, but, man, every cutscene's in third person, and there was a part of me that was playing Resident Evil 7 and going, and every time there was a cutscene, I'd be like, I only paid for this game once, so I'm not, like, real upset about the 2D cutscenes. But, man, this game definitely seems to pull you out more frequently with the cutscenes. And so I couldn't imagine really playing this, whether it be in third person or in first person, and then being cutting to those cutscenes constantly. It just seems like it's not really designed well for VR. So if a new Resident Evil game in the RE engine, which is supposedly easy to port over to PSVR, is going to be first person, then that's everything I need to hear. That's all I need to hear for it to make sense to say, why wouldn't the next installment be in VR? Like, why wouldn't we have a VR option? And I really, really hope, this is a total side thing, but I hope that Capcom is saying, okay, this requires some extra work, and if they're not finding it financially feasible to say, we're going to put in the extra work to deliver a VR version of this game on the same disc, I hope that they don't hesitate to charge and say, listen, if this is the only way we can make this happen, either a patch, or an upgrade, like a certain, a different listing on the PlayStation Store, a whole separate game for those of us who just want the VR version, whatever they have to do, I hope that they do it, because, I don't expect anything for free ever. I never expect anyone to work for free ever, except for you guys. That's a whole different story. And so I hope that Capcom does what they need to do to make this a possibility. All right, I know I went off on a tangent there, but being in first person, don't you guys think that that's a clear indication that like it worked for RE7? Why couldn't it work for RE8?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, I would not be surprised in the slightest if they did it. Now, Corix is saying with moves and aim support, I don't know how likely that is. I think they might stick with DualShock 4, but you never know. I mean,
Totally need to do it this
could.
time around, unless there is a PSVR2 or something. Eventually, by the time it comes out, then yeah, it would.
All
work,
right,
but
guys. So many people coming in saying, "Who won the giveaway? When's the giveaway?" Guys,
We will
if you're
give-
just sticking around for the giveaway, don't bother because you're
Wow.
not going to win.
Wow.
Probably. And
Wow,
second of all,
Dave.
well, no. I mean, most people aren't. But the other thing is, if you don't want to hear us talk for 2.5 hours about bullshit that isn't even real stuff, then we don't need you. If you're just here for free money, we don't want people who are just here for free money. All right.
So also the other
Dave,
part of the
I love
giveaway
you.
is that you don't actually need to watch the show. We announced the giveaway winner on the show, and then I contact you through PlayStation Network after the show. And so like if you don't
Yeah.
get contacted by like 9 p.m., you didn't win. See, don't waste your time if you don't want to waste it. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't even have to watch it.
Unlike Dave, I'm not angry though. Dave's like pissed. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm just telling you. I'm cranky
Yeah,
today.
we will announce
I
it
forgot.
in the
Hold
middle
on.
of the show.
I got one.
Let go of me.
I've never heard that one before.
Let's
I mean,
go.
it is possible.
Let go of me. Yeah. Okay, that's Cape Panic, the game Cat Pro Patch.
Pro patch.
Ballerinos. He says, can't wait for
Did you not play
Flappy
Leave the
Bird
Nest?
VR.
We already got Flappy Bird in VR. It's called Leave the Nest. It's legit. We have it. It's not good. It's terrible. But it's, it's Flappy Bird VR.
So I truly believe that, first person is a good indication of there likely being VR support, if it is the case, if it is. And, in my opinion, that's great. You get the remakes in third person, they're flat screen, and then you get the new series where it's first person. So it's kind of like multiple versions of Resident Evil. Capcom is killing it right now. They had a bad 10-year stretch, and they have been, kind of Bethesda has kind of taken that reign from them and has really been having a poor couple years. And, I think they'll bounce back just like Capcom did. And Capcom is absolutely smashing it with Resident Evils and all this stuff going on. So definitely excited and hope this is, in fact, a first-person VR supported title. Let me get through the rest of these bullet points real quick. The gameplay starts in a village leading up to a castle. That sounds kind of like what Resident Evil 4 in a way. The environments will be rural, snowy, and mountainous, possibly Europe. Regular zombies will be appearing instead of the molded from Resident Evil 7. There is a persistent, shadowy female enemy that will follow you but dissipate if shot. That would be freaking terrifying, man. To have something like Nemesis following you, stalking you. Jack was the one stalking you in Resident Evil 7, and that was absolutely the most terrifying part of that game.
Can you imagine
besides
if
the little
Jack
kids' room?
burst through the door like Nemesis did and just plywood flying and everywhere? That would be amazing.
Oh my goodness! And they also said there are also wolf-like creatures that will attack the player in certain areas. What do you think of this? You think Resident Evil? It's about time Resident Evil has gotten some werewolves in it.
Oh, I was thinking they meant like the zombie dogs or something that always have been around. But I guess
If you're talking about like werewolves,
Yeah.
man, the new Annabelle movie or the newest one it turned into a monster movie like about halfway through, and it really killed all the enjoyment for me. Like everything after the first half was bad, and so I hope that Resident Evil knows where in the paranormal it belongs, and it doesn't belong in like werewolf monster territory.
werewolves. Yeah.
Zombified
and
stuff,
shit.
great. Infected things, awesome, but not werewolves and other weird mythology. Dave, can you hit that one more time before we miss this one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was waiting because AJ said let him get through his bullet points, but here we go.
Leaving my body, no!
from David Moore with 499 donation saying, glad you played RE2 Remake. It was my game of the year for 2019. RE8, PS5, PSVR, Dare to Dream. And actually, I was going to ask you guys, do you think that RE8 would be a PS4 title?
No.
No, probably PS5, unless they do that thing where there's
That
a
would be my
version for
guess.
PS4.
I feel like it's
It
time for
could be.
Capcom to double dip.
You're
I don't
right.
think they've ever been on that Ubisoft Electronic Arts bandwagon like that. But I think it's Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think it's time, man. It's like, let these guys make some serious cash again.
Yeah. I'm cool with werewolves and stuff, but I would prefer like the zombie dogs, like Dave says. That's always been my favorite. In Evil Within, the wolf that they had in that was like kind of one of the weaker bosses in that, and there was something about it that was just kind of like just going through the motions with it. But finally, the last bullet point that I have is that Chris Redfield will also be returning in some capacity. This does not surprise me because he is all over Resident Evil 7. He appears all over the game, and especially I will say in the DLC. He appears in the DLC a ton. There's the Not a Hero DLC where you chase after Lucas, and it was a great DLC. And I think they mention him in End of Zoe, but they don't really talk. No, there's
Dragon Slayer Production says The Conjuring 3 is in the making right now. I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I can't fucking wait. The Conjuring 1 and 2 are two of my favorite scary movies of all time. I hate picking.
I like the first one.
I need to watch
I hate
one of
picking
those.
like
I've never
super
seen any of them.
contemporary movies to say these are my favorites, because I love like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and a bunch of like stuff from like even like Suspiria, that kind of stuff. But like, man, for as far as like just being scared, Conjuring 1 and 2, love those.
Big Fat Frog says no werewolves, please. But I did miss the dogs and.
What was the last bullet point you? I totally blanked. What was the last bullet point you said?
Chris Redfield will be returning in some capacity. So they're basically saying he'll play as Ethan again.
Okay, so I like to ask you guys questions as often as possible. How much do you care about sticking with like the classic Resident Evil mythos? Like, do you care about like where that story goes? Do you care about those characters at all, or would you just be happy to pick up the pin and be like, "There's some crazy shit happening somewhere else in the world"? No related characters.
Well, they've kind of picked up
both kind of work
somewhere.
Yeah, both work.
But that was kind of when they were falling off a little bit. Like 5 and 6 were sort of.
But 5 and 6 weren't bad because of that. 5 and 6 were bad because they were like action games.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the part of straying from the mythos I don't want them to do. And I think sticking to first person is going to make it so they go back to that more kind of slow psychological kind of what's around the corner instead of I've got a big gun and I shoot the guy around the corner every time. As long as they keep Umbrella Corporation and there's some secret, company doing weird shit behind the scenes, I'm cool with that. I just don't want werewolves.
I mean, it requires so little, like just like a few little threads of Resident Evil, anything to be a Resident Evil game. Like, I mean, they've really gone all over the place with this, and so there's really no rules for Resident Evil anymore. I am happy that 7 kept like the whole organizing the item box thing, and like that there was like some severe item management going on. But I don't really require it to be too much more than that for me to feel like it's an RE game.
I think the most significant thing here for me is the one persistent shadowy enemy following you. I think that's going to have the biggest impact over anything in this game. Maybe we'll see. That was my favorite part about Resident Evil 7 was just how terrifying it was being stalked by Jack. This classic part of Mr. X and Nemesis in Resident Evil 2 and 3. So I mean the story has been convoluted and been just out of whack for decades now. So I really don't care. It could be the old story. I like the Resident Evil 7 story. It could be either one. I'd be happy with it as long as it's just scary as hell, more survival horror than action.
So I got 2 things to say about Resident Evil before we wrap this topic up. First one is I was going to see that new Star Wars movie in an Uber, and I was talking about movies with this lady. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think she wasn't that smart. But anyways, she was talking at length about how much she loves the Resident Evil movies. And it occurred to me at a certain point that she didn't even know it was based on a video game. She
That
had
would
not
probably
heard
help
of
her
the video
enjoyment of
game.
it.
She didn't play video games. Maybe, but I don't know what kind of person you got to be to really enjoy the Resident Evil movie franchise, not even knowing that where it came from. Like, I don't know. There was something strange about that to me. And she also loved Jurassic Park 3, which was weird. But anyways, okay. The other thing is, I think everyone in the chat should shame AJ into playing and or streaming the first DLC, the Nightmare Mode, because he has never played it and he doesn't know much about it, and it's fun to watch. And I think he really needs to play.
I will stream it.
So do it.
By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be
Those
streamed.
sirens are on my end, and I think they're coming this way. Wow.
We ready for the rock paper scissors? It's been too long.
It's been too long. Some things should just be.
Anyway.
It's just be. Some things should just die, man.
We got Mick Coles with the £2, €2. I never know what those are. Hey, up me ducks. Love from Robin Hood country. So he must have stolen that from the rich to give it to you.
I can dig it. Oops. I will say the Resident Evil movies are kind of a guilty pleasure.
I didn't mind the first one.
So
I think the rest of them, I was like, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the difference between 2 through 7 or however many there were.
But yeah, once there's been so many bad, go back and watch those, and you're like, man, these aren't so bad.
They need to reboot.
You gotta really watch a lot of bad ones.
Movie series. I mean, how hard could it possibly be?
I think they're going to actually, aren't they?
Let's do it. It's probably gonna be like a Netflix series, like everything else is these days. Yeah,
it might be actually. All right, so on top of these Resident Evil rumors, there's Brian. Tell us about this Silent Hill stuff. And boy, do I have some opinions I want to share on this as well.
So again, this IGN. That's interesting. This rumor also comes from Aesthetic Gamer, right? Who again has some credibility out there, and apparently some of his speculation and some of his inside information has turned out to be true. And so, according to him, there are 2 Silent Hill games in the works.
I like it. I want it.
Now, I think we'd all be crazy to think that one of those Silent Hill games wasn't the one that Kojima was working on and obviously abandoned when
that doesn't make me excited though, because like when you take stuff Kojima was working on or involved with, and then he leaves and you finish it,
but we don't know how far in development it was either, though.
That's true. I just feel like they'd be releasing a corpse. Like, this is a game that was going to be great if they had those 2 people working on it, Guillermo del Toro and Kojima, but without either of them attached to it at this point, I wouldn't be that excited to see what it is, really.
You might not be excited, but that doesn't keep Konami from releasing things like this. They did.
Oh, and if they could make a paycheck off it too, like off something he worked on that he doesn't have the rights to anymore, I'm sure they would.
I mean, they released Metal Gear Survive, right? Which had nothing to do with Kojima. It was probably not in development whatsoever. It didn't have Kojima's hands on it at all. And what?
And it was terrible.
And a lot of people didn't like it. But that doesn't mean this isn't happening. Like, depending on how far along in development Silent Hills was, it would almost be silly for them to be like, we dumped millions of dollars into this game, and we're just gonna like let it fall by the wayside because Kojima left. It's very, very possible that they found a talented team to tie up the loose ends, finish up what was going on, find the script, and make it work. I would be interested to see what that's all about. But if it was like 5% done and they had just begun work, I mean, that's a totally different story. That tells us.
I'm kind of with Dave here in that it being Kojima. I mean, Konami. I cannot be excited for it, even if this is true. Like, I will happily be proven wrong. I will be totally fine with that. I hope I would be wrong, but with them at the helm, there's no way I'm getting excited for this. I would be much more excited for a new Resident Evil or something. But anything Konami does, like, I am not excited for them. They messed up Contra, they messed up Metal Gear with Survive. It was terrible. And just everything else they've done is stupid ass pachinko machines.
What do
or
you have
mobile
against
games,
pachinko
something
machines?
like that.
Are you only mad about pachinko machines because they're not video games?
I'm very mad. I'm very mad.
Thank you.
Sorry, we got two of them. We got to do. First one is K Panic, the GameCat Pro Patch once again. $2. Says RE8 name prediction. RE Infinite. 8 is the infinity symbol.
It's actually kind of possible.
And then Techno Gatsby with a $2. I guess I'll give him another one. Says next game, plot twist, Resident Good 1. # must buy. It must be a reference to something.
Resident Evil opposite of
Good One. Good One. Yeah.
So Resident. What's the opposite of evil? Resident.
Good.
Is good.
And this would be the first one that was good. So, like, there's a guy who can't die chasing you around, but he just wants to, like, make you a nice dinner or something. And you're like, dude, this is so bothersome. You shoot him, he comes back, you blow him up with the car, and he's like, wake up early for breakfast. You know, and you're just
thank you, Cass, for the donations. I really appreciate it. I should probably follow this up by saying, I'm just going to steal this from Eurogamer and read it to you guys. I didn't actually talk about the two games that are rumored to be in development. Let's see. So here we go. One game is thought to be a soft reboot of the franchise, while the other game is rumored to be an episodic adventure similar to Until Dawn.
Until
episodic?
Dawn.
Until Dawn's not episodic.
It's not really, except there's a lot of Until Dawn games, but
and even those have kind of fallen down a little bit since the first one. None of them have been as good as the first one.
Oh, I get it. They're like in the universe of Until Dawn because there's been 3 of them. I don't consider that episodic though.
But I mean, wouldn't every Silent Hill game be in the Silent Hill episodic universe then?
Maybe they're
just... You know what I mean?
The best case scenario is that this new horror game and that Sony may be working on is something with Kojima and is a horror game with Kojima and Sony.
Let me read more about this because I think whoever wrote this article on Eurogamer misquoted Aesthetic Gamer, because here's the quote from Aesthetic Gamer. Konami has about 2 years ago reached out to various developers to pitch ideas for 2 Silent Hill games, one a soft reboot of the franchise and the other an episodic Telltale / Until Dawn style game, which makes a lot more sense because Telltale games, if you combine Telltale and Until Dawn and make it episodic, got it. Game to go along with the reboot. I don't know anything more than that though. Blah blah blah.
I don't know if that's the one that I want for a Silent Hill game to be like interacting and talking with people, and you didn't make choices that matter later. I want like a creepy nurse who doesn't talk to me at all, trying to kill me the whole time.
Well, maybe if
really
you don't kill that nurse early on in the forest, she'll come back and help you during her boss fight later on.
Maybe. Creepy nurse remembered that.
Sorry, that was my horrible attempt to rope Resident Evil 4 into this conversation. So I don't know. This is a tough one, right? Because there's been so many Silent Hill games, but like I don't know how many of them have been good. Like I can say that as far as the Resident Evil franchise goes, there's been more good ones than bad ones at this point. I hope that's accurate.
Just barely. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 7. So if they make 8, but it's more than half. Silent Hill. I just remember the second one being really good, and I really liked the second one at the time. But there was that other one. What was it called? Like, shit. You didn't have any weapons. You just ran the whole time. Was it Shattered Memories or
Homecoming? Is a PS3.
Yeah, Homecoming. No, Revelations is the movie.
Okay, there was one that was on like Wii
Shattered Memories.
Too.
Wait,
that's like kind of the reboot of one, right? kind of like the retelling of. I don't know. Did
I think actually the movie was Silent Hill Requiem. Sorry, I had
But
to
there's
correct
only
myself.
there's only been 4 of them, right? Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill Shattered.
but then
Memories?
there's Homecoming in the
Yes.
room.
Oh, you're
Right?
right. You're right.
And
you're
like
right.
they're all functional, right? I don't. I think very few. Oh, but except for that Vita one, like Blair Witch Book of Shadows
never
or whatever
played
the
that
fuck it
one.
was called. It was okay. They tried to make it like a Diablo game, but it's certainly not as. Yeah,
But I
but
love
you don't like
Diablo.
Silent Hill Diablo. I'll tell you that. It's okay. It's not bad. It's just
probably
what's
right.
the point?
Yeah.
Man? It's
I agree. Huge Crumpage, Code Veronica, and
Code
Zero.
Veronica
are
and
pretty
Zero
good.
are pretty good.
Oh, cool. Right.
They actually,
I forgot about
they
those.
continued the
Those are
story.
also good.
They actually continued the story.
Revelations
unlike,
1 and 2
some
were
of the other
awesome.
ones. 4.
I'll say that. Dead Aim. I don't know if you guys played the GunCon 2 one and Dead Aim on PS2. It is really underrated. It's really good.
Good. Let me borrow it. Let me have it. Yeah, the second movie is called Silent Hill Revelations. I don't know. There's also a Resident Evil Revelation, so that really threw me off.
Wait.
It's weird that there's a Resident Evil game called Revelations, and then there's a Silent Hill movie called Revelation. It's just freaking.
You just
weird.
got to reveal a lot of stuff in these franchises. You can't know everything coming in, so there's got to be a moment where you're like,
so
"Oh
weird.
shit,
Is
that
there
was
a Silent
big
Hill
revelation."
Annihilation movie?
Oh God, I
I feel
hope
like there
not.
should be.
I hope there should be because there's a Doom and there's a Mortal Kombat. Both
Should.
shit. Do not watch them. Watch
All
the
right,
first
so
two
let's
movies,
pretend
though.
that there
It's
are,
all right.
in fact, 2 Silent Hill games coming. That this is happening.
I don't care.
Like, about either one? What do you
Nope.
think if the other one...
I'm not saying they wouldn't be good. I'm saying that I don't
Do you
think they're
think
going to
that
be
Silent Hills was going to be a soft reboot of the franchise? Do you think that that's...
good. I think Silent Hills was going to be a VR game. And yeah, a soft reboot
So
VR game.
So what
Actually.
is the probability that Konami scrapped all of Silent Hills and really started over from scratch with their own vision? I think it's pretty unlikely from a business standpoint.
I think it's more likely that they are trying their attempt at some really shitty Silent Hill game, and they don't want to ever be associated with Silent Hills ever again, because Konami just makes bad decisions like
But
that.
pachinko machines,
So
AJ, pachinko
they-
machines.
Don't say but
pachinko.
pachinko machines like it's.
I
You
can.
can't say that.
Listen, there's
That's
nothing
not a
wrong with
good
pachinko
thing.
machines other than that's what their focus is.
They are more likely to have a good Silent Hill animated
Do you
series
think-
than they are.
I'm all about asking questions.
good
I'm just going to be
game.
the host that asks questions. Do you think
Okay.
Zone of the Enders 2 VR was them experimenting
Mm-hmm.
with VR for something, a bigger franchise of theirs, like Silent Hill?
Probably, yeah.
I have
mean,
no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea why they made that game in VR, but I'm glad they did
Yeah, it's pretty
because
cool.
it's all right. It's like playing a PS2
Exactly.
game in
It's
VR,
awesome.
but
Yeah.
it could be worse. It could be worse because you still get to see Kojima. You still get to see a Kojima game in VR, which is kind of cool. But
And I love hearing
Yeah.
those sounds, man. The sound design of those, like the menus and everything, just sounds like Metal Gear
Yes.
Solid. Sounds like Kojima. It's really cool.
all I'm saying, Brian, is that I am very much more excited about whatever Kojima Productions is working on than whatever Konami.
Well, so the
has
reason I asked, and we
gonna
can jump back to
half-bake
Kojima
together.
in a second, but the reason I asked was because, I mean, come on, how long has it been since Zone of the Enders was a thing? You know, people didn't really care about Zone of the Enders during the PlayStation 2 era. Forget about now, like fucking 20 years later. Like there's so my question is there's no way Konami thought this thing was going to sell. This was them testing it, going, "Oh, let's see what you can do with VR. Let's see how much is it going to cost us to outsource this to some other company and get them to make our game in VR. How much like is it going to sell? Whatever, blah blah blah. Lots of questions, right? For them to just kind of test the waters, but also not to risk a major property of theirs in the process. I can't think of another reason that they would do this. Can you? There's no way it was going to sell.
I don't know.
I bought it too,
I mean,
but
I
we're
bought
fucking. But
I did buy it as well.
I love mechs and shit too.
I like mechs too. Especially Gundam
Okay.
style mech stuff.
All right, maybe
It is
who
alright.
knows? Maybe it sold like fucking
I'm
gangbusters. But I mean, there's no reason.
Zone of the
There's
Enders?
no reason for them.
No.
I mean, it was also a 4K flat screen remaster. Like it was a cult classic, and people are super nostalgic
That's
these
true.
days for
Right.
everything from that era. So I think if you think about it as just a game that has a VR implementation, then you would think, oh, who's going to buy this thing? But
That's
I think
true.
people probably.
I'll give you that. Totally forgot that you could play it in 4K as well, or non-VR. Period. All right.
So the final game that they are speculating on is Gran Turismo 7, which to me, this is the real deal. This is one to get excited about if it is actually happening. And they basically just talked about like the different features. The creator director over at Polyphony has mentioned before that the hardware limitations are a big reason why Gran Turismo Sport ended up the way it did. And Games Radar actually published a pretty decent article kind of collecting all of the different information together. And it's really, there's still not much to go off of, but it's basically pointing at that it would be a full-fledged PSVR supported game, like with the multiplayer, with the single player. Even with the limitations, I still sunk about 8 hours into Gran Turismo Sport. And really just, you guys can, I know everybody has their preference for the racing game, but trust me when I say this is by far the best feeling racing game, like the way that the different cars react on the tracks and stuff like that. It just, it just feels so good. There's nothing like taking a Hellcat Charger out onto like a dirt road and sliding around and like being like, it's so fun. The driving just feels so good, especially if you got the wheel, but it feels great with the DualShock 4 as well. And for everyone who doesn't have a wheel, this one will support the haptic feedback. You're driving on a gravel road and your controller will vibrate, or your triggers you'll feel the grip of your tires either losing grip or something like that on a wet surface, something like that. So Gran Turismo is like one of my favorite series on PlayStation. It's one of the highest selling PlayStation games of all time. I think they're near 100 million. And yeah, I would be totally head over heels for this.
All right.
game.
So part of the rumors that Games Radar is perpetuating is that this will be a PlayStation 5 launch title. What's the likelihood?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we would have heard about it.
You think so?
By now, if that was true. And
They haven't. They haven't even announced
This would be
PlayStation
the
5
ultimate
yet.
thing to say
But
along
you're
with
right,
the PlayStation 5
If
reveal.
if by
You
the
say-
time,
you
yes,
say
All
here's
right, I
our
got it. You're
PlayStation
right.
5,
Okay,
and here's
I
like
messed
10
up.
launch games to go along with it. I think that's why we haven't heard anything, because there are going to be that's why we haven't heard anything from Sony at all, because I really think they're going to go, here's our launch lineup, and then like half of them will also be on PS4.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good launch title if they were able to do that. I feel like GT Sport was still recent enough, and they've been working on it so much after launch that unless they had like two separate teams working on two separate Gran Turismo games, I would be surprised if it was a launch
I would be
title.
too.
Because GT Sport came out like what,
Polyphony
a couple
is
years
like
ago.
notoriously slow, like really slow. Like with there's a Horizon game coming out like every other year on Xbox or Forza, right? There's like every other year, bam, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, nonstop. Where like they get out like 3 games while we get one Gran Turismo game. So yeah, and they must have ramped up the team quite a bit. It must be a huge team at this point. I mean, especially considering they do those kind of sales numbers. Like PlayStation has to be there going, this needs to be a launch title. This needs to be something for people to have out of the gate day one, PlayStation 5. That
if I was them, I would absolutely want it to be a launch title for sure. because they need to sell the PS5. PS5 is not going to. People aren't just going to buy the PS5 because it's PS5. They need games.
I'm going to buy it for that
to
reason.
sell it. I mean, or
I hate to say it. Yeah, no, me too.
I know, but I'm just saying, like PS4 really set the bar pretty high, and if they want to have the same sales as PS4 did, like they're gonna have to have something that's pretty exciting. My guess they're gonna have like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, a couple other things as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But K27 says he's not a fan of Gran Turismo series, that he likes arcade racers more. I know, but I haven't played a good arcade racer in so long. Even MotorStorm. I know MotorStorm gets a lot of love, and I think it's a cool
who's
concept.
Giving MotorStorm a lot of love? Is it?
Oh
it
my
you
god!
and your
I hear
Bloody Roar
MotorStorm,
fans?
this MotorStorm every single day. And by the way, somebody in the chat did say. I think it was Ash said Armored Core, baby. Yes. I would love Armored Core in VR. No, but K27 says, what about Wave Racer VR? I would love Wave Race. But no. Dude, that's the thing. There's settings in Gran Turismo, which I don't think most people realize, but you can customize the settings and it can feel like an arcade racer. Like there's a lot of, it's not this hardcore sim thing like Dirt Rally where it's like so hardcore. You have to know the lingo. You have to have like quick reactions and stuff. There's tons of things in Gran Turismo that make it feel more like an arcade game, and especially with the wheel.
We're not talking like Ridge
an
Racer arcade, right? Sorry.
Right, and I haven't played a game. That's what I'm saying. I haven't played a game like Ridge Racer and stuff. Aceville says, I love MotorStorm. I like MotorStorm, but it's like, it's the racing. I don't think the gameplay is very good, but I think the stuff going on in the environments was amazing. Like, how cool would it be to be racing and there's an earthquake or a tornado?
Go back and play MotorStorm. Awesome, but, all of you supporting MotorStorm, go back and play it.
I played MotorStorm recently. I didn't think it was I don't think it aged well.
But
Ridge
Racer. What did age well, and we
Bloody
should
Roar.
No, one thing that we should have in VR is a fucking jet ski racing game, like Wave Race or Hydro Thunder. Hydro Thunder is aged quite well. And like having the water splash up on your face and shit when it could be really cool. Like,
that's what I mean.
First person.
I haven't played a fun arcade game, arcade racing game in forever. Yeah. I've played a lot. Like the last great arcade racer I can think of was like Blur, maybe. For those who remember that game, maybe even Burnout Paradise, maybe, or Armageddon Riders.
I was so upset when Burnout Paradise was a PS3 game that got remastered for PS4. So upset when they remastered it and didn't give us PSVR support. That would have been hands down the greatest racing game on PSVR. You want to hit me, David?
And Burnout Paradise wasn't even the best in the series, and it was still pretty fun though.
Oh wow! Hey, what's going on, Joe Grover?
That's for Joe Grover with a $30 donation. Thank you very much, dude. Love you so much. Just showing the love. Oh, right back. I avoided lots of meh ones and getting all the good ones. Thanks, dude. Dudes,
nice.
Dudes. You're doing it right, Jay.
Yeah, man. Hope.
Now, one thing I want to interject here, because before we get off this launch window thing, because we're kind of drifting from that already, do me a favor, AJ, and look at the games that PS4 launched with. Because this concept that a console must have amazing flagship titles.
No, I remember. It had like Shadowfall, and it had Infamous Second Son, it had Resogun.
Resogun's not a system seller.
No, but this is the thing, though. This is the thing. They haven't announced.
I think a rumor is true because a game needs to be released in order to push the PS5.
No, I didn't.
I don't think that's.
I don't think I meant to say that.
No, you said earlier. I think you said something along the lines of like, you don't just buy a PS5 because you want it. You have to have really, really strong games right when it comes out. And I don't think that's going to be true. I think there's going to be maybe one or two really exciting ones,
right,
and a lot of little ones that people are not as excited.
What I'm saying, I guess I exaggerated a little. It needs a reason. Why would you buy a PSVR? I mean, a PS5 if there was no games launching with it? Like I don't know. I mean, some people would.
Games, but
that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there has to be something, and it's not Godfall. Godfall. People aren't going to buy PS5s because of Godfall. I can tell you that right now, unless it does turn out to be some amazing game. But I'm saying it would make a launch better more people are going to be excited to buy a PS5 if there is a Gran Turismo launched, if there is a Resident Evil 8 coming soon that's announced, if there is a Horizon Zero Dawn 2, something like that. That's going to build hype for it. It's all about the games, man. Games. I'm saying the system is not going to perform as well as the PS4 did if there's no games for it. That's all I meant to say.
But
I don't know how
exciting games for the PS4 when it
You
came
don't-
out
you
either.
don't like
and it's one of the
Killzone
best-selling
Shadowfall? You don't like
consoles of all
Knack?
time.
Killzone Shadowfall was
It's
shit.
not-
Knack
Shadowfall
was
wasn't
shit.
shit.
And
It just wasn't
but the thing,
great.
the thing about this is
It was a
that
6.0.
the PS3 had a lot of. The PS3 had so many annoying things about it. It couldn't handle Skyrim. It couldn't handle, something like Bloodborne with these environments. So we really just have to wait and see what features, how much of a boost these games are going to get in terms of graphical fidelity, stuff like that. All we really know is the haptic feedbacks of the triggers, but and the ray tracing. So we do know that there is going to be hardware based ray tracing. So they're going to look phenomenal. But in terms of there was just things that PS4 could do that the PS3 couldn't, and that was a big exciting part about it.
Well, but that's going to happen again here without the games,
right? Features,
because
features.
There's games that look.
I think you
awesome
read a
on
little bit
PS4.
too much into my comment. I apologize.
Oh no, I mean I'm just
Made
saying,
that sound like.
I think that's the thing for me is if we're talking about rumors and like when a game might come out, and we're basing it around the idea that you need those games right when PS5 launches. I don't think we do.
No, you don't need them. They would just help a lot.
Yeah.
Alexandria Burnett says, "I'm buying PS5 for the hardware. I'm buying it for the games. Okay, I want the games." Knack 3 PS5 launch. Oh god, get out of here, Marcus Thorne. Clever girl. But yeah, would love to see Gran Turismo because that is just the number one racing series on PlayStation. I agree with you guys. I would love an arcade racer, but I need a good one. I don't want just an arcade racer for the sake of being arcade racer. I know people love Drive Club. I'm not a fan of Drive
But even
Club.
Drive
I
Club's
hate
not
the driving.
like arcade racing.
It doesn't.
Right? It's some sort of weird hybrid.
It is. It is like it's like a weird sim arcade hybrid that doesn't know what it is, and it drives me nuts. If after playing Gran Turismo and then go and playing Drive Club, I've just never liked the driving in that game. It's always bothered.
You cut out for so long.
Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Yeah, that whole sentence
you're muted
is
now,
gone.
man. Like you're.
He's gonna have to do some adjusting. All right. Well, so what's the next topic?
Well,
Let's
so this
move on to the
sort of
next
relates,
topic.
right? So the
list here.
games radar article also speculates that PlayStation VR is going to launch with, or PlayStation VR 2 is going to launch with PlayStation 5. Now, I think that
Is that based on that thing that the people who made Titanic VR said?
well, no, the Games Radar did not
Well,
say that specifically, but that is my speculation saying, hey, this is probably where they get that information from. Now, if we all assume that this is where they get that information from, then Upload VR basically they got in touch with Immersive VR Education, who were the ones that let this all happen. Let me just read this to you guys because we can then we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Actually, I pulled it up.
Okay, so the claim was made in a trading update report from Titanic VR developer Immersive VR Education. The full statement reads, 2020 will see Sony release the PlayStation 5 and a new version of the PlayStation VR headset, which will further expand the high-end VR user base. The group intends to support this device with its current suite of showcase software. They reached out to Dave. There you go, he's back.
Check 1, check 2.
We reached out to David Wellen, CEO of Immersive VR Education, for clarification. He confirmed to us that the original statement was indeed a mistake. Quote, the statement was picked up in error from trading update sent out to our investors. We mentioned to our investor relation company that we intend to fully support the PS5 with our current suite of software. We are not confirming that there is a PlayStation VR version 2 in the works. Our investor relations company picked it up as a new headset for PS5, which might not necessarily be the case. What does this sound like to you? Because to me it sounds like fucking, oh shit, we just broke an NDA, we got to backpedal as fast as possible.
I never believed it in the first place because here's the thing. if somebody
Why are you yelling
had,
at us?
you know, if we're going
Jesus,
by if we're going by you know, developers leaking information, there have been more developers saying that it is not going to happen at the launch of the PS5 for PSVR2. It is not going to happen at the launch. So I'm going to believe all the other developers that said that. And even Jim Ryan himself, I think, said they don't want the launch of the PS5 to be too expensive with the PS2. It's not, in my opinion, and I will eat my words. It's not happening this year. It now we may get an announcement of it. The only possibility is if something has changed, and they said, "Oh man, Oculus Quest is catching up. All these VR things are catching up, and they're evolving."
So it's not happening unless it's happening. Is what you're saying?
I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
If I had to bet money on it, it is not happening this year at all.
Yeah.
Maybe an announcement. That is possible, but it is not coming out this year. And if I'm wrong, then you can burn me at the stake.
You should eat your shorts. Yeah.
I will eat my shorts.
All right.
If I'm wrong. Or something that is actually edible and won't kill me.
Ryan from VR Grid said, "I am so sick of this rumor."
Oh, that
I'm
guy.
really sick of this rumor too. In general, I think a lot of these rumors that people get hyped about and post on Reddit about, and people pick up and make news articles out of, are just so obviously like not happening. Like there's so many where it's just like, people stop getting hyped about this shit. It's not. Even the articles about it,
just
even the
clickbait
articles
articles,
about
man.
it will have a headline that's like PSVR 2 coming. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And in the article, if you scroll down, they're like, no, it's probably not.
Right.
It's like if people actually read the stuff they're sharing.
Well, they do that on purpose, though. That's not their fault.
Well, no,
seeing
saying,
the title
will
shove down their throat.
Don't be a sucker, folks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we've got some developers in the chat.
Critically about shit.
We've got some developers in the chat saying almost certainly not happening.
Yeah,
a lot of these rumors are just so certainly
like,
not happening.
Silly, like it's not even.
I didn't say not happening.
Shut up, Brian. It's not happening, guys. It's not happening.
Ooh, Kramer's got a good one. We're not going to burn you at the stake. You're going to have to take off the hat for a whole show. Yeah,
I will take off if
like
PSVR 2 comes out this year. I will not wear a beanie an entire show.
Well, now I want to believe.
Mark my words.
Now I want it's coming out.
But I do think we could. I think we will get an.
Here's my take.
And it's coming holiday 2021.
And that's been the word, right? That's been the word since Mark Cerny basically talked to Wired and said, "This is the plan, right? Don't expect PSVR 2 at launch, about a year out from the PS5 launch." That was the word, but that was also like, I mean, it was a little while ago, and I think at the same time, like, man, I think they're seeing that the Oculus Quest wants to eat their fucking lunch, right? I think Sony's feeling the heat. It's not anything serious because obviously, like, the VR market is so small right now that even if they, fall into second place, it's not the end of the world because when they put out their thing, it'll be, we'll all buy it. But
oh, I mean, the other thing is I wouldn't be that scared if I were them because Oculus came out first and then they just came in and ate Oculus's lunch like all day. They kicked their ass in terms of sales. And, the design of the headset's way better. There's just like so many things that they did right. I don't know if I'd be too worried about Oculus if I was them, especially the Quest, because it's a whole different use case. Maybe like a Quest 2 or 3 would be able to eat
yes
their lunch.
And no, right? I mean, some people are choosing one headset. I'm sure there are a lot of PlayStation 4 owners that said, oh man, the Oculus Quest doesn't have any wires. I'm buying that.
Yeah, people like the wireless.
At the same time, I mean, there are probably a lot of people who are like, oh, that shit doesn't have Resident Evil.
But they don't
on
know
it,
that. They have no idea. The general public has no fucking idea that the Quest isn't powerful enough to do that shit.
Yeah.
No idea.
The general public goes, ooh, it has finger tracking. Woo.
Yeah, which is a cool thing. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, if you can, I'd be more excited about that if like there was games for it. That would, I care about the games, man. I don't care about all these silly features. I care about, I mean, I think some of these are cool, but No, I care about power and games. That's all I want.
I mean, I just think that the landscape has changed significantly in the last few months. I think they are seeing that the competition is getting fiercer. So I don't think it's going to be a year out. I don't think it's going to be a year from the PlayStation 5 launch. I think we could possibly see it, mid, like summer 2021, right? Like maybe 6 months out or something. Like it's time to accelerate this thing and get it out and show people like what a real next gen PSVR headset can do. But also at the same time, like they are easing people in right now. The reason they don't want to say anything about PSVR2 because they want to sell their PSVR1 headsets. They want to sell these things, and that's in their easy way of doing that is saying, oh, don't worry, buy it now, and when you upgrade to the PlayStation 5, it'll be forward compatible. It'll work with the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be awesome with the PlayStation 5. But I mean, if they said right now PSVR 2 will launch on the same day as PlayStation 5, how many headsets do you think they're really going to sell between now and then for people who are on the fence? Like none.
Well, I mean, doesn't that make it better for them to keep selling what they already got and wait?
Well, yeah, and then announce PSVR 2 closer to the launch window.
Sure.
I don't know. I just don't think a year after PS5 launches is good enough anymore. I think
it can get by if there's the games. If they keep releasing games for it, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But if there's like no games coming out for it, I think that's where it's going to be in trouble, and they need to
think we're going to see
speed it up a little bit.
They'll have games.
You think we're going to see some forward compatible new controllers for it between now and then, or around the launch of PS5, possibly?
I think they would launch.
The headset drops.
Really?
Only when the headset drops.
I think they'll launch new controllers with the new headset.
Interesting.
I would think they're
I
going to
will
bundle
say
them together.
those controllers are coming sooner. I'm going to say I'm going to say new controllers are coming.
Really? No. I don't know, man. Because like a lot of this idea about what PSVR 2 is like inside out tracking, right? And so getting rid of the camera. If they release new controllers, they're not going to put little like glowing rubber things on the end of them just to keep it compatible. They're not going to do that. It's going to look silly as hell if you got a full on controller with one of those on the end of it that looks like I don't know. VR controllers look silly in general, but I just don't think that is feasible. But other people seem to agree with you. Like Decepticon says, I think we'll see the controllers first. I just think the controllers are going to be part of the ecosystem of the headset, and like how it all works together is going to be reliant on the controllers and the headset coming together. No,
I totally hope that you're right, but I don't think that's happening. I think they're going to play this waiting game as long as they can. They're going to stretch it out. I think they're much more concerned about selling PS5s than they are PSVR 2s. I think PSVR 2 is plan B, is initiative number 2 versus, it's not going to take precedence over the PS5. Let's just put it that way. So I think you can say that they need this, they need that for VR. Yes, it is very true. They do need it. Like, we want a new PSVR as soon as possible. But that's not going to take precedence over PS5.
I don't think anything VR is going to take precedence over PS5. Not a chance. All right, guys. Now is the time that many of you have been waiting for. It is time to choose the winner of the $50 PlayStation Network card. No, I just did.
Do you want me to pull something up here?
Can I get a drum roll, please?
Okay,
cool. The winner is the Smith family, or Smith family, with PSN Kurgan_Smith. No, Smurf. Oh my God, I can't speak today. Kurgan. It's the Smith family, but their PSN is Kurgan_Smurf. They're in North America. Good luck to everyone, and remember that PlayStation is the best. That's a great comment. So thank you very much, everyone who entered, and congratulations to Smith family, aka Kurgan Smurf. Kurgan Smurf. I think that's German. I don't know. I'll be making sure to get you your $50 gift card at some point tonight. We're gonna do this. I think we're gonna do this twice a month, as long as I can afford it. The $50 gift card seems to be super crazy popular, and then we'll try to like alternate games on alternating weeks, free games, giveaways. Congrats.
Smith's family.
All right, I think it's time to get on with the news.
All right, that was fun though. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about still. Some updates on some games, some release date trailers, all this stuff going on. So first up, Firewall Zero Hour is part PlayStation Plus for February games. Finally getting some good VR games back. And to coincide with this, they are also going to be having their operation launching with a new level called the Oil Rig on February 4th.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
It's going to be awesome to have so many new people playing it for the first time.
Yes.
The only thing I wonder about is, like, if you didn't go out of your way to buy Firewall, you might not have an aim. And so if you're playing this, you got it for free. You're like, oh, I got this VR thing, but I don't have any other peripherals or whatever. And you play with a DualShock 4. It's not going to hit people the same way. Like, it's a cool game, and you can play with the DualShock 4.
People, I know plenty of people that love it with the DualShock 4.
Yeah, but that's more like the people that I know have to use it because they have mobility issues, or it's hard for them to stand up and move their arms a certain way.
I think we know
like
the same people.
Why are you talking about
yeah,
me,
that's
guys?
what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is I just hope it's still as exciting to people who get it for free, and that they don't just play it once and say, oh, I don't get this game, or it's hard, or I don't like the way the controller feels, or whatever, and just like...
That's what I'm working on in the comments. Anytime I see somebody that's excited, being like, oh my God, like my review saw a few extra views and some few extra comments from people who are excited about getting it for free. And so I've been trying to stay on top of that and be like, hey, listen, if you try it out and you're enjoying it, definitely consider picking up the aim controller. Because, I mean, yeah, it is night and day. But man, it is that is the way to play Firewall for sure.
Yeah, and this is, we've owned Firewall have poured hundreds of hours into it. And so to us, it's like, that's cool. But this is actually a pretty big deal. This is pretty awesome for those who haven't gotten to try it yet. Game's only $20. So I imagine this is a little transition as they get ready to gear up for their
PlayStation 5
Solaris
launch.
No, I think, which, I'm looking forward to Solaris because I like Firewall so much. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So next up, Synth Riders, a newer-ish rhythm game, kind of like Beat Saber without the arrows or the epic presentation, more of like a catching kind of rhythm game. But I've also heard really good things about this.
Yeah, people seem to like it. I didn't like it. I played it on Quest. I didn't. Maybe it's one of those things where, like with Brian, when you were playing Audica, you had to get to a certain level of difficulty to see the hook. And for me, most rhythm games that I really like, they're fun at the beginning, and they're still a little difficult, but I see the hook right at the beginning, and that's why I want to get better at it. Synth Riders didn't do anything to make me want to keep playing more. It felt like there's just this tactile thing missing, because you're not really hitting anything. You're just sort of positioning your body in certain ways and stuff. And it's just not as cool to me. But people seem to like it a lot, so...
People do seem to like it a lot, which is kind of why I'm excited for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of rhythm games. I've played so many now, but we'll see.
I'm definitely tired of rhythm games. Unless a game came out that had all of my favorite music in it, there'd be no appeal to me to try another rhythm game. I think Audica and Beat Saber do everything that I want, and this, I mean, I can tell you without even playing it that this will not have that same appeal for me. Although I'll still play it.
Pistol Whip will, though. I'm excited for Pistol Whip as a rhythm game.
So I've played both of these on Quest, and Pistol Whip definitely will be better than this. More like that visceral. You play it the first time, and you're like, I want to keep playing this shit. This is really cool. So man, I need to get back to that. I think they added some new stuff too. But yeah, be excited about Pistol Whip, guys. That's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah. All right. So next up, today we were supposed to get a game called Throw Anything, and it's like a small title. It's actually got good ratings on Steam, and I was actually pretty excited to play this, all week. And now we have learned that it has been pushed back to February 6th. So it's going to be coming out. Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, we're totally
tell
going
me
to
that next
forget.
week on the show.
But yeah, so Throw Anything has been delayed. Apparently it was supposed to be on that date. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, I guess. Are you guys excited to play this at all? I just want it.
I think it'll be pretty good. I mean, like you said, good Steam reviews. It's like, I was reading somewhere, it's like one of the most popular Korean games to be made a few years ago. I don't know if that's a big
what a weird stat
pond to be swimming around in, but it looks fun and surprisingly kind of colorful and detailed for how simple the general art style is. And I like the idea of there's zombies crawling up the side of a thing and you're throwing shit down at them to knock them off. Like, we've seen a million zombie games and none of them have this concept. So it looks like fun, kind of lighthearted. And you can apparently pick up anything in the environment and use it as a weapon. So like if you run out of ammo, you can like grab a table and break it in half and like throw pieces of the table down at people. It's not going to blow anybody's mind, I don't think, but I think it'll be a fun little thing. It is $18.99, which might be a little steep.
That seems like way too much. Of course, we'll be buying it, but to show it off to you guys, it looks like it could be, like Delirium Drew here says, goofy and fun. It seems. I agree. Yeah. Like, I think it could be just some goofy fun, and that's like at best.
I want to see the bosses, man. Like that. That's what I'm looking. Yeah.
Bosses?
There's
Are there supposed to be bosses?
If you look at the Steam store, description, they say defeat 5 mid bosses and 6 powerful main bosses. Collect ancient relics to save the world. Defeat zombies and get powerful weapons as rewards. Test your limits at various difficulty levels. Yeah, it sounds like there's more, like a little bit more to it than, than just picking up stuff and throwing it. Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, looking forward to playing this. Hopefully we'll get to mess with it next week. Next up, Affected the Manor, which is a really cool, really cheap haunted house that you can get and walk through. I recommend this to anybody that hasn't played it yet.
Wait, did I just hear it?
Especially
Dave?
Yeah.
Didn't like it? I mean, I thought it was good for what, $7.99, $6.99, something like that. I thought it was pretty awesome for that.
Yeah, there's good for the price, and then there's something I like to play and would recommend to people that don't always overlap.
Yeah, so you wouldn't recommend Affected the Manor? I would recommend it. I was skeptical at first too.
It's not Rage Room.
The selling point for me, and I know I've said this a million times, but I'll say it one more time, is that this came out around the same time as I went to a haunted house here in Worcester, the Factory of Terror. Right? It's supposed to be the best haunted house, and blah blah blah. It's like professional, quote unquote. And I paid like $25 to get in. I stood in line for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
And then I went through, and it lasted like 20 minutes, and it was boring. Like I felt like they were understaffed.
Yes.
And it was just really underwhelming. And it's like you just go through rooms and like nothing would happen. Just like, oh, here's some strobe lights and like some really crappy effects and stuff. And then I paid $7 or $8 for this, and right, and you can
much better.
Like you can play through it twice that are completely different paths, and each time you go through is like 20 minutes, and it does stuff that you can't do in a real haunted house, like it able to throw shit at you and some real paranormal stuff going on, like it's hard to be like this is an amazing game, but if you love haunted houses like I do. Yeah, then this is something that's right up your alley, and be like, man, stay home next Halloween, invite your friends over, and watch and laugh as they go through the haunted house and scream, because it's gonna be way scarier than any haunted house you could possibly go to.
I agree. That's the thing. It's so much better. That's the one argument I have for this game, is that it's so much better than any haunted house I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them, and they're $20 and they suck ass. And this was $7.99, and it was
going.
It's an event.
It's like I hate these
because I try to feel alive.
Halloween's an event.
I want to feel
you
scared.
Go out and you try to have fun. You try to find ways to get scared. Like even if you just go to a scary movie, it's like you got to celebrate the holiday in the best possible way.
Man, it sounded like that Six Flags
Fucking
Halloween
terrible.
thing you guys went to was just really,
really bad.
really bad, right?
Terrible.
There's a kid playing a trombone, and that was supposed to be scary, right?
Yeah, he was jumping out with a trombone, and that's not even like the only place. There was somebody else that went to a haunted house and said they were jumping out with trombones, going "brrr," like it's supposed to
maybe
scare
he
you or
forgot his
something.
samurai sword at home, and they were like, "Dude, you got to jump out with something." He's like, "I got this trombone."
So Patrick Haraguchi from the studio manager artist over at Fallen Planet Studios says we recently released Affected the Manor on Quest and says now we are working on some extra content. Our plans are to finish the PSVR update after GDC. Cool. So we can expect some additional content.
I can't, dude. Like Affected, this is the strangest story, right? Because Fallen Planet Studios, when this is supposed to be, I think like a trilogy, right? It's supposed to be like Affected the Manor, Affected the Museum. I don't fucking know what the other ones are. Affected the Forest, something, right?
The basement.
But it's supposed to be three or four, whatever, like different places that you can walk through and explore and get the shit scared out of you. And I think at one point, Perp Games even announced that they're going to publish the physical version of Affected when all the parts are done. Like, how they have to be so far out from this at this point. Like, I mean, we're not going to see part 2 and 3 of Affected like for over a year, right?
It's going to be a minute.
So Perp's just going. Whenever you guys are ready.
They said after Game Developers Conference, which is March 16th.
Yeah, but we don't know what that content is.
So
this might not be Affected the Forest.
So, yep. But just wanted to throw that out there. Dude. I liked it.
K27 says Affected the men's restroom.
That's infected.
I like it. Could get affected by the infection.
Used glory hole, you get infected.
So there is a game. There's a company called Portal's Edge 360 that I've been following since the beginning of last year. I think even maybe before last year, the end of 2018, I think. But essentially, they've been talking about this time traveling game that they have been working on. They definitely have some movie references in here, like Back to the Future and stuff, where you travel throughout different periods of time, periods in time, and it's kind of like a puzzle game where you go to you time travel and then you figure out something and then you travel to the next one. They're going to be finally announcing and showing their launch trailer for Tempest 84, their teaser trailer, on the 2nd of February 2020, aka Sunday, Brian.
Sunday, AJ.
Are you going to have
Sunday?
Are you going to have you going to have it up on this week? PSVR this week?
Yep. So I'm actually timing PSVR this week to launch at the same time as this trailer. So we can debut the trailer in tandem with the lovely people that work over there at the studio that you just mentioned, whose name I already forgot. Yeah. That's the name of the
Tempest
game.
84.
That's
Portal's Edge 360.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're curious about this, tune into Sunday's episode of PSVR this week, and we'll have that reveal trailer for you.
Yeah, and then you can post to enter the giveaway at that point, and then you can come into the chat and ask us 20 times if we did the giveaway yet, and then you can not win. So.
All right. So just some quick news about PAX East, Brian.
I am going. I have my
pass. Are you going?
4-day pass.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Don't get sick.
I got to stop being sick from the last time I was sick. Hopefully before the end of February.
Anybody that goes to PAX East or planning to go to PAX East, make sure you meet up with Brian. He loves meeting people in real life.
Unless you're sick, stay away from him if you're sick.
Give him a big old hug. Probably you might have the cure by this point. But Paper Beast is going to be at PAX East, Brian. So we know Paper Beast and Gorn are confirmed for PAX
Well, I'm just
East.
going to spend 4 days playing Gorn, apparently.
Yes, so hopefully you get to take a look at those. Give us some impressions. Make sure you tell us all about it, and hopefully Iron Man and Pixel Ripped, I'm hoping, will be there, as well as any other PSVR titles. This spring is going to be
Side note,
freaking bad.
if anybody is going to PAX East, you should follow me on Twitter at thatwouldbedark, all one word. You can also add me on PlayStation Network. That would be dark, all one word. Follow me anyway, because I don't know, if no one follows me, I got nothing to say.
Legit Lemon wants you to do a PSVR today instead of.
That's what the morning show is going to be called. AJ, PSVR today. Today. Your involvement is just going to be the voiceover clip
What
that
up,
I still
Ash?
need when you go today.
Today. You always love it when I say today.
In other news,
This is
news.
Viking
This is
Days was released.
Did you pulled this news out of the garbage? I told you to leave it in there.
Is this on the list? Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh, I want to
list of
warn
topics,
people.
and I think my brain just cleaned that part off. I didn't see it there because I don't want to think about Viking Days. But let's go forward. What happened with Viking
from
Days?
the esteemed developers who brought you Apocalypse Riders comes Viking Days.
Is it really the same people?
It is the same.
God, they got such a bad track record. I feel like part of the Sony QA process should then be they're like, nah, dude, I saw your last game. Get out of here.
I hate to say it, but Viking Days I think is than Apocalypse Riders.
Probably better, yeah.
But yeah, it's about.
Bar.
I was just going to tell people not to buy it. It's really bad.
Yeah,
maybe for $1.
How much is this going for?
You go. It's probably just a couple bucks.
Search on the.
It was only like $5 on PSN.
It's $5.
Oh, we got a good question here.
Yeah. Okay. Crap. Got it.
Hit us, Dave. We got a good question.
Get out of here! This is hard!
And that's going to be from Joshua McCrory with the $4.99 donation. Dude, it says, the reason I love VR is how immersive it feels. What game is the most immersive you have played? Besides Resident Evil,
no,
come on.
Even more so than Resident Evil 7. The easy answer to this is Shadow Legend.
I was
Shadow
wondering if you were
Legend
gonna
is the
say
most
Shadow
VR
Legend.
game I've ever played. That's the dumbest quote you could ever hear me say, but it is 100% true. Shadow Legend is VR as fuck.
In terms of gameplay, I think it's one of the most immersive games there is. Graphically, I mean, it looks stunning, but I don't think graphically it really was like the most immersive to me. I think the gameplay was because there's so much shit to interact with, and it was fantastic for that. The most immersive, Dave, what's the most immersive game you've ever played?
I'm trying to think, man. It's kind of hard to think of what's the most immersive. I mean, No Man's Sky is pretty immersive once you get into it, but the blur I know turns people off. Once we get the Pro Patch, if I assume we're still getting one at some point, I think that could be. And the other thing, I got another thing I want to say. I think Ace Combat 7 with the
that was
HOTAS,
the one.
Ooh,
Ace Combat 7 with the HOTAS feels so good. It's like you're there. Everything feels perfect, and it's like being in the cockpit of a fighter jet.
That is a damn good pick, Dave. Ace Combat 7 is so fantastic. I was actually going to say the Souls Project because I actually really, really got into that game and really felt like I was surviving on an alien planet and just really felt like I was being stalked by aliens. And it was terrifying. It's not even it's not a horror game, but it was absolutely terrifying. But yeah, I mean, Cork says, how do you define immersive? I mean, that's what I'm saying is there's immersive looking, there's immersive gameplay like Shadow Legend. Like to me, immersive looking could almost be even like Skyrim or Blood and Truth or something. But to me, the narrative and just the adventure and the mystery behind the Souls Project was just so immersive to me. I was in that world for
that works for me too. I mean, again, this is the thing we always go back to, but when you're standing on the beach and it's raining and you look out onto the ocean and there's like that cyclone, right? And you're like, oh, damn, that looks crazy. And then you realize the cyclone is actually coming at you and going to get onto the land and you need to run away from the cyclone. That's fucking about as immersive as it gets right there. Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, Ash VR says once I'm in transpose, I'm lost in that world. That's a good one. Love transpose. VR Grid had a great pick, and what did he say? Detached. Detached is pretty immersive. I think that really is the best thing about VR, though, and I think the best VR games are going to be the ones that are the most immersive, at least in the future. You know, I think right now they're still fleshing out a lot of like, what is that experience, and then what is that game? You know, right now you either get a good game or a good experience. Sometimes you get good, like both. I think Resident Evil 7 is a good example of both a good game and a good experience. But you know, it's still not that most immersive, like interactive gameplay just yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Once something like Resident Evil has the interactivity of Shadow Legend, like
Yeah.
oh, God.
Mars Alive was great. No, it was. I don't know. I'll never come to a conclusion on Mars Alive.
It's
I
pretty
felt
easy
like
to
I was
come to
walking
one.
on Mars.
It was so. I couldn't stop playing because I couldn't wait to see what was around the next corner, and there was just never anything around the next corner. And once I figured that out, I was so disappointed. But man, like leading up to that was it was good. I was like, if something had just happened, that's all I needed, something to happen, and nothing did. So don't buy it.
What's up, Bearded Power 666 says hello. Game Cats played more Shadow Legends today. It's so
I
good.
got the
I
platinum.
know.
I'm
Isn't
so happy I finally got the platinum.
I need to go.
Nice work.
I need
You
to
gotta
go
tell
get
AJ
that
where
one.
that
Dude,
last book is.
Are you not
Yeah.
putting the books in your inventory?
I don't know. It's either glitched or I just didn't. I missed one. But
Also,
I'll
I
go
think I
back.
actually
and
had
get
to
it.
read
No
them.
worries.
Like I held them up and let the.
No, you only got to hold it
Oh,
for
okay.
like 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah. But great question from Joshua McCrory. Immersion is really the biggest thing, game changer about VR. So I love that question about bringing about, and I love seeing what everyone else is saying about their immersive. Some people said static, a couple other things. So really, really great question. I appreciate that question, man.
Yeah, I would say static is the most immersive one you can get with a DualShock 4, except Resident Evil 7, obviously. But in some ways more than Resident Evil 7 because it has that tactile kind of feedback and you holding the thing in your hand.
All right, what's up?
Oh man, Castlevania VR, give it to me. Hard to get comment. All right, so anyways, Viking Days is out. Don't buy it.
Let's
It
not
sucks.
talk about it. Yeah.
Oh god, it
just
doesn't
goes
go any
downhill.
better from
Fuck,
here,
man.
Now we're gonna. It's going downhill really fast. Vigilante Ranger came out earlier this week.
How AJ says it funny.
Yeah, Vigilante.
Yeah,
it's a vigilante. Yeah.
God damn.
what was it? So you said something last week or on Viewer Takeover or something where like I love not saying anything and just looking at Dave and then like we exchange the glance and then we just don't say a word.
I've been watching too much Polish ball.
That's where you should learn English from.
You gotta start subtitling.
He's changing. Yeah. No, I say things different than everyone. Because all I have is
some would say wrong.
I say things different from educated people. No, come on, that was funny.
Not go that far.
AJ's educated.
Okay.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
Yeah,
all right.
homeschool counts as education, right?
Wow.
Just kidding.
17 people just
self-taught.
unsubscribed.
Okay, not even homeschool. Anyways, this game came out and is essentially supposed to be like tower defense, first person wave shooter, and it sucks ass.
Stop yelling.
It's basically
at us.
everything
killing me.
It does suck ass, though.
Yes, it's
It sucks. It totally sucks.
I don't know.
I played for an hour, beat over half the game, and it was like just so boring and easy that I don't think I'll ever play the other half. I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about picking it up to tell people, if it was bad, because I'm starting to do reviews again a little bit. And after seeing you play it, I was like, oh no, I don't even want to spend 5 minutes with this game. Because you're just sitting in one spot and you got a gun that just goes boop, boop, boop. And there's these guys on a path just walking right towards your base. And you're like, hey, look, there's a guy. Boop, And that's like, it seems like even though you upgrade your weapons and stuff, that's
Yeah, like
the whole
any
game
good tower defense game has you
entirely.
setting up
Like
strategically your defenses and offense, like towers, where you're freezing guys, you're sending toxic waste at them, so that it's all strategic, right? And there's none of that. You don't get to set up any of your towers. It's just, here's the map and here's the 4 towers or so you can jump back and forth between. Which, by the way, you jump back and forth by looking at the towers. So if you're shooting some guys and you don't realize you're looking at a tower, you could easily just teleport across the map and be at another gun, like, without even realizing what you just did. You're like, no, I was shooting bad guys over there and I accidentally looked at my other tower. I hate. It's obviously a mobile game. It took a lot of things from the mobile version and kept them for the PSVR version, which they shouldn't have done. And I mean, AJ, how bad was the gun placement?
So at first it was like, okay. I was like, okay, it's weird. It's off to the side. But then as you get like halfway through the game, it gets worse. And like the gun placement is like, I'm trying to aim forward and my gun is up here aiming down. And like, I just want to fucking point it to the right a little bit. And it's like, how bad can this be off? And it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's terrible. This is like my worst nightmare. Everything that this game came to be, it was really like just as bad as it could be. And this is not the kind of crap we need on PSVR. I'd rather there be nothing.
$10. It was
than
at least
this crap.
$5 on like
$10
some mobile platforms. $10 is ridiculous, man. It's like, there's no way it's going to take you longer than 2 hours to beat. And on top of that, like, it's just not fun. And it's just so stupid, man. Like, I feel bad every time I slam a game, but there is nothing really redeeming here at all.
I want to say this would be a good time to plug a game that I don't think I've spoken of in years. But if you're wanting a cheap tower defense game that actually also started as a mobile thing, I think it was on Samsung Gear VR. You guys remember Castle Storm VR? Zen Studios Castle Storm VR? It's decent, and it's $15 instead of $10. And it's an actual tower defense game, and it's actually decent and well made. So, if you got to scratch that itch, you could get that for pretty cheap. There's other ones like
Skyworld is pretty good.
World? Is that the? Yeah, but that's a little more expensive. I mean, there's.
I think it's on sale still. It's actually still on sale.
Oh, cool! I need to grab that actually.
Castle Storm to me was like, hey, here's a very, very 2D game that Zen Games came out with, and then they were like, here's our best VR implementation of it. Like, it's slightly better because it's in VR, because it's slightly more 3D, but man, they very much took a 2D game and
Oh yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how
Infinite
the mini
Golf
golf one was kind of felt like that too.
Yeah, whatever happened to
Infinite
Zen,
Golf.
man? I feel like Zen was like pumping out VR games left and right, and then they just stopped.
Well, they only have a few franchises, right? I mean, like they got us our pinball, they got us Castle Storm. I don't know like what all of the games Zen Studios is behind, but I feel like they don't have like new IPs coming out all the time and shit. And all the stuff we have is just existing games that they ported over into.
Yeah, Cloak Trooper says Ancient Emulator, which I will say is, if you got a friend to play it with, it's infinitely better than Vigilante Ranger. Hit me, Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
I love this name.
This is Super Nintendo Chalmers with a $5 donation. Wait a minute. I know this picture. This is...
what picture is that?
Is that
I
Turkison?
didn't recognize that picture.
I think it is. $5 donation.
Maybe.
No message. Thank you very much. We love you very much. Love you so much. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but this game just sucks in every single way. It looks like a mobile game. It plays even worse. It's not fun. It's super boring. It's basically the kind of game that people say VR is gimmick and VR is stupid. VR is cheap bullshit. It's because of games like this. So stop it. Stop releasing shit like this. We don't want it. Meh.
Yeah, I mean, it's
All right. I had to get that off my chest. This game sucks. This game is really bad. This is not like your average just like this is a really, really bad game in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, this was a good idea that failed. No, everything about this game sucks. The idea sucks. The
I
implementation
want the
sucks.
developer to tune in right now.
I hope so because the game
developers
sucks.
emailed me with a key after I bought it, and after I streamed it and told everybody how much I hate it, and they're like, hey, just want to let you know that we released our game on PSVR and we're a small team and this and that, whatever. And I was like, oh man, you guys don't watch the channel. I was like, or you would not be sending me this key right now.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on a second. We got a follow up from Super Nintendo Chalmers. Thank you very much, Dave, for that. And then a $5 donation says, have you guys ever thought of doing a top 20 worst PSVR game list? And the answer is yeah. We actually all the time. We actually spent like at least I think a couple hours putting together a top 10 worst list that I never got around to editing. So I will get around to editing that soon because I've got some extra time on my hands. So yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, now that you got that LA Noire review out, now you got plenty of time on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want to. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing 10 worst of 2019 as well, or at least top 5 worst of 2019. God, I would go off on these games. There were some great games, but
shout out to
really
Magnus
bad
Out
ones, too.
Loud who just followed me on Twitter. Thank you for actually listening to me. Yep.
Hey.
Nice. All right, so Vigilante Ranger sucks. Don't buy it.
Do you think this game belongs on the top 10 worst PSVR game list? I'm going to say no, because it's not broken. It actually works. It's just not fun.
It's not broken. Yeah, it's just really shitty. There's a difference. And nobody was excited or hyped for this or even knew it existed until we just mentioned it just now. So not a big deal. Something that is cool. We got an update for A Room VR, a Dark Matter. Am I saying that correctly,
It's
guys?
The Room.
Wait, hold on a sec. AJ, hold on. Stop the whole show.
Canceling the
I have
show.
a thing to ask you.
What?
Did you put together this whole... Oh, never mind. It's at the end. Okay, go ahead. I was like, how have we not talked about the actual news yet? But let's go.
I thought we have been talking about this. Anyways.
No, the real news, the actual news.
So I guess that's the next one. But anyways, Edge Magazine featured an article on an interview with the developers of A Room VR Dark Matter. And it basically says a big thing on here is that it says that the release month is going to be April. So we kind of didn't have a release window on this one. Now we've got April is when, and guys, I think April is going to be so stacked. I think this spring, I think there's no games right now, and I think we're going to get absolutely drowned in games during the spring. I think it's going to be unbearable. It's going to be great at the same time, but it's going to be like, woof. Like I really wish they would just spread it out. But I do have a full article on this that I actually posted in my Patreon. So if you go there, you can read it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Also, big shout out to my 2 Patreons, Meow Meow and Rev Johnny. Thank you guys so much.
Nice.
I appreciate it. But yeah, this just went through developer interviews, and they just talk about their inspiration from the game, kind of how they ended up making it.
You said it has an April release date, right?
They seem
that's awesome.
April release date.
Yeah,
so April, and they are horror fans, Brian. So you might like.
I do like that they're horror fans, but did they say anything about implementing horror into their game?
They said that a little bit. Yeah,
Good.
They do mention it. Got to read the article.
Do I got to support you on Patreon, or I could just go to the fucking newsstand and buy the magazine?
Just buy the magazine. Yeah. What magazine is it?
Good luck with that. Edge Magazine.
I can't believe there's still
Okay.
physical
Yeah, of course.
magazines out there.
I honestly just don't remember. I wasn't trying to be sneaky and trying to do that. I just don't remember. So I'm turning it. But
Yeah.
they seem like they're a pretty cool developer team too. They seem pretty laid back. They cuss a lot. And seem like they like horror stuff, and basically just said that, like, the iOS, the Apple Store changed a lot, which kind of forced their hand because they changed a big promotion thing in Apple Store, and the game is super successful on mobile devices, very successful, which is in part why they keep making them in a way, but they also like have a passion for it. It seems so they really want to deliver something pretty good to us. So pretty excited for this.
K27 says
Actually,
magazines still exist. Dude, I'll tell you, man.
Yes.
They do. Not a whole
Electronic
lot
Gaming
of
Monthly
them,
was like
yeah.
just my jam, man. It was like is pre-internet, or even once the internet rolled around, like, you know, EGM was still getting the exclusives, and I mean, it was the best day of every month for me. It's like new EGM would show up. It would be like this thick, right? It'd be just like 300 pages. And I didn't care that half of them were advertisements because, man, it was just, I would read that thing from cover to cover over and over. It was the greatest thing ever. Like, the internet has really ruined Magazine Day. I miss Magazine Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something special about that.
as more green says, I won out of ammo. I wanted to get back.
It's pretty rough.
The Room VR is tearing me apart, says K27. But yeah,
K27, you're my favorite customer.
This game's supposed to be pretty good, though. They said that there's lots of little stuff that we're going to interact with, lots of little things to tinker with, mechanical devices, and it'll be interesting to see. They basically described it as a puzzle, and like a little bit mix of puzzle and mix of like treasure hunting.
I like treasure hunting.
Yeah,
Shadow Legend.
Yeah, I love
made
treasure
me really happy about treasure hunting. Yep.
Yes, yeah, I love treasure hunting. Exploration.
Yeah. Wait, Dave's in the chat, but he's not on the show anymore. What happened? Did he get demoted?
But I agree with him. He says
I'm here.
He says bring back
Zach Lightning
demo
says
disc,
Steve Harris, Sushi X, Ed Samred, classic EGM. Yeah, even like when it was like the Milkman and Shu and all those guys, man, like it was. There was like a solid decade where EGM was just awesome.
All right, so in our final news,
I've heard of that.
Beat Saber has added 3 new songs from Camellia.
Camellia. It's like a type of flower, I think. He also goes by Kamatech or Kametech or something.
I've only got footage of AJ playing with the cat, so I'm going to play that.
But these 3 new songs are hard as hell.
Yes, they're like by far the most difficult stuff I think they've ever released, and they're all like almost 6. One of them's over 6 minutes long.
They're 5 and 6 minutes long, each of them, and they're long as hell. Hard is basically expert. Expert is expert plus, and expert plus is just like fuck you.
Kill me
is what it is. Yes, it's ridiculous, man. They're so difficult. I kind of do want to try and get through them though.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool for me, though, because, like, I was getting to this point where I'm a little rusty, so Expert and Expert Plus can be hard for me at this point, like, to the point where I'm like, shit, I'm so rusty. So I've been doing hard, which can also feel really boring a lot of the time, because not every hard song is that hard. But these are harder than Expert songs on hard. Like, I went back to Be There For You on Expert after playing one of these on hard. And it felt like a walk in the park, man. I was like, this is so easy. Like, so, I don't know. I feel like almost
if hard is too easy for you, speed it up a little bit. And then it'll be really easy.
I like hearing the songs the way they sound instead of all weird chipmunky or whatever. Or slowed down, like chopped and screwed.
My new obsession
is a cool genre. I do like that. But
my obsession has been Ghost Notes. So I was playing the new songs on hard with Ghost Notes.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean the style of these is not going to be for everybody for sure, because they can be pretty like hectic, intense kind of electronic stuff. But there are moments in each of them that I think are pretty cool, and like they give you a second to breathe, and the music gets kind of chill for a second, and they're kind of video gamey in a way. This guy has done a lot of music for Bimani games, if you guys know, like rhythm games, like Dance Dance Revolution. That's
I'm not the biggest fan of this music. I'm not really a fan at all, but the game is just fun, and it's definitely a workout. So I feel like it's a good. I feel like it's a good like endurance workout for these.
Yeah, I was sweating like crazy because usually, I mean, you play a 2-minute song and then you get a chance to go to the menu and look around, decide what you want to play next. With this, I mean, you could be there for 6 minutes straight, and it's way harder than Angel Voices. So, my arms hurt today, honestly.
But that's not all. There is some interesting news that everybody's been blowing me up about.
What's that?
Beat Saber responded to some dude who's basically said, I'm holding out for some metal. And they said, they basically, I guess, promised that they're going to be adding some metal to Beat Saber soon. So maybe in the next pack. And if that happens, Beat Saber, I will stream your game for 5 hours straight. 5 hours of Beat Saber straight.
I bet they'll be happy.
Wait,
if it's good metal. Okay, maybe like...
Listen, now you're putting fucking stipulations on it.
Yeah, there's bad
shit,
metal.
Man. You can't be putting
Oh, yeah.
You get metal, you get
Dragon...
metal.
Look,
you're going to get ducking.
Oh, we'll see.
Now, I want to ask you, AJ, so based on the kind of bands we've seen so far, like we've got Imagine Dragons, Panic at the Disco, Green Day, right?
Slipknot.
So you think it's going to be Slipknot?
I think Slipknot
maybe.
is like
here's the thing.
Only one that makes sense to me.
But Slipknot is a popular band that currently doesn't have a lot of radio songs.
As long as it's not techno metal.
No, but here's what I'm saying. Like they take bands that have really popular songs from a while ago, but they only put their new songs in for the most part, like with Green Day and with Panic at the Disco and stuff. So I know enough about the latest Slipknot album to know that those aren't like super radio friendly and super like popular these days. So
most metal isn't super friendly, popular.
Well, that's what I'm asking for, because like, do you think there is one that appeals to people like in a sort of radio friendly way, or like a way that people...
Slipknot, that is like the radio friendly metal of today.
I mean, there's got to be something else, right?
That's dude.
That sounds right. Like,
oh no, I don't want Dragon.
Okay, well, I don't think
they're all right,
had a
but
song on the radio lately or anything.
I don't want 80s. Well, unless it's actual 80s metal, but Dragon Force is just like shred metal. It's stuff. Animals as Leaders is hard to get. That would be amazing. Amon Amarth says Bruno Ribeiro. That would be amazing. I would love to see. Cloaked Reaper says Tool. Tool would be a great one.
Tool is a potential one. I could see Tool has a good name recognition.
Imhotep says Metallica. Metallica would be great. I agree.
Tool songs long as shit though.
Yeah, they are like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But Metallica's
I feel like to Dave's point, I do feel like they're going to try to, if they were, it's going to be some kind of more mainstream kind of metal band. So
I don't think you get,
Faith No
I don't
More
think you get more mainstream
amazing.
than Metallica,
Pantera.
as far as metal's concerned.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Beat Saber could find a way to do some. I don't know. They're gonna just like ask their friends or something. I don't know.
Now I want to take back a little bit of what I said about Slipknot.
God,
because
please don't be disturbed.
I'm looking at their singles from the past couple of years, and they did get some stuff like in the top 10 on Billboard in 2019, top 20 in 2018. So maybe there's a chance. I just don't feel like those have this sort of recognition that an Imagine Dragons or like a, that one Panic at the Disco. What is that? Got high hopes for living.
Kramer, I'm with you there. Pearl Jam would be. Avenged Sevenfold, I could get down with Avenged Sevenfold.
Mick Cole says Nine Inch Nails, and I would be so down for that.
I would love Nine Inch Nails. I've seen them so many times. They're one of the greatest shows ever. Death Clock, that would be great. Yeah, Justin Carvel says they'll probably bring me the Horizon or some crap. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid they're going to be like metal, and then it's going to be like some emo crap. I don't know.
Okay, so
Cloak Reaper, I do have a problem with Disturbed. They're one of the worst bands I've ever seen live.
I just want to say real quick that Justin has nailed the nail. He's hit the nail on the head with this comment. Devs at Beat Games. Okay, Google most popular metal band in 2019. Because I feel like with the past DLCs, they're just like Googling, hey, what's a popular
metal band? Yeah.
Like, and just that's what we get.
They don't strike me as listening to underground metal.
No, I mean, they listen to underground EDM.
Or
that actually it's not
European.
It's like people at the
EDM.
Electric Daisy Carnival are flipping their shit about it. But
listen,
right.
Yeah.
I don't like their taste.
Now that My Chemical Romance is going back on tour, by the way, tickets go on sale tomorrow for the Boston show. Dude,
that would make
fucking Lamb of God
me
says
the fuck
Decepticon.
up. Like, I don't care which album. Like, I don't think they have a bad song. My Chemical Romance is fucking awesome from start to finish. I will take whatever they have. I know it's not metal, but man, I will fucking take it.
No,
Let's get
it's
some
not
20-minute
Jesus.
Mars Volta songs in there.
That'd be great.
Decepticon says Lamb of God. I would love Lamb of God. I would also like to see Ginger. Ginger's a really, really big popular metal band. Mastodon, of course. Baroness. Yes. Nine Inch Nails, totally. Mike Patton was my hero too, Zach Lightning. Yeah, GameCats listen to good music, man. These guys know. These
They
guys
have good
know
taste, man. They found us. All right, we got to move on. We could talk.
Yes.
We could just list bands for the next 20 minutes. But
I activated Geison's Chromecast by saying Google. Oh, that's why my phone lit up too. I didn't realize that.
VR Grid says
That's
it's going to be
hilarious.
Five Finger Death Punch, and I will not pay for that. Yeah, but that'd be kind of a disappointment. But that's kind of what I expect. Some kind of mainstream thing. Like I said, at least Slipknot would be kind of like in the middle of metal and mainstream.
Yeah, I mean that would work.
System of a Down, Dream Theater. I love you guys.
Ash VR
so
says, "I'm out. Have a good show." I was like, "I also want to be out. Let's end this thing." Yes.
Meshuggah.
All right, you guys, 2 hours. That is a good length for a GamesCast. Thank you very much to everybody who hung out and listened to us rant about rumors and about news and about awful fucking games and about metal and about cats. I'm sure we meowed more than a couple of times. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you to everybody who, I like saying this because I used to be one of these people who sits at home, watches, and does not comment and just enjoys the show, man. You guys are out there. I know you are. And I love all of you equally. Make sure you join Dave over at Dave Station VR. Join AJ over at PSVR Underground. If you don't subscribe to Without Parole, what the fuck are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Unless you already subscribed, unsubscribe. You don't want to do that.
They're just here for the giveaways.
That chat proved it. But hey, pay attention to PSVR this week, next week, or this weekend, and for another giveaway. Probably won't be nearly as exciting as a $50 gift card. But what are you going to do? That's it. That's it. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Kat.
That's it.
My name is Brian, and we're out. I love this cat.
Oh man,
What you
I
got
want
for us,
that.
AJ? Service up one of those cool.
I want
AJ
that
stories.
Decepticon. I want that Decepticon Beat Saber pack.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the deer I think is gone. I haven't seen the deer in a while, but the chickens are still there.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Told you about the Amazon guy. I don't know. I can't think of any adventures I've recently been on the top of my head. But I do want to say thank you to Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Dave Station Game Cat. Guyson, fist bump to you. Kramer, 3K, Delirium Drew, Genetic Blasphemy, Decepticon, Corix, the Game Cat, Cloaked Reaper Games, Jason Ewing, Super Nintendo Chalmers. Chalmers? Todd Guyett wins Fatality. Sonic, the Game Cat. I can't wait to see that movie. I want to see that Sonic movie. Really bad.
Yeah.
Mustard Custard did it in the living room.
Can I?
the
So I
lead
don't have a
pipe.
story. I don't have a story. Can I read you guys the
Yes.
text my mom sent me this morning?
Sure.
So this is weird. I don't know if she understands how mirrors work, but it's a nice thought.
Wait,
It's-
like the magical ones, right?
Just a regular mirror. When she
Okay.
was over, they were visiting for a few weeks, and she was like, "I'm gonna clean your bathroom," and I was like, "No, you're not. I'm cleaning my bathroom. Get out of here." So she says, "Please clean your bathroom mirror today. It will look so much better, and so will you, you handsome guy. You love, Mom."
Oh,
And I
moms
just
are the
don't.
best.
I don't think that's how mirrors work. I need to go to a gym instead of cleaning the bathroom mirror if I'm supposed to look better in front of that thing.
Just remember,
But,
moms are tough.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Moms
watching,
are
everybody.
tough.
We love you all.